Hello everybody, I am back home from my trip, and if you've seen my shorts, then you kind of have an idea of how it went. Getting to the airport and then getting off the plane to go to my, where my brother was staying, because we were staying with him and his fiance and her family. That was not fun. The flight itself was fine. It was completely fine. It's just before and after was not. And if you haven't seen the shorts, well, I'll explain. We were supposed to fly to Florida about 7 o'clock that morning, and we would arrive about 10-something their time, which would be 9-something here. And it did not go that way. I got a text the night before. We were getting ready to, we had just gotten ourselves all situated. We were going to go to bed early because we had to get up early. I think we would have had to get up at 2 o'clock or something in order to be able to be ready to be picked up by our ride, taken to the airport, and had 2 hours, the usual stuff when you go to the airport. I got a text message saying it was delayed. We weren't going to be leaving at 7. We were going to be leaving at 12:15. I was like, well, it's a good thing we got the message now instead of, when we were getting up and getting ready to leave, essentially, which would have been worse. So, okay, whatever. So I kept my notifications turned up so I could hear in case more changes happened, because apparently it could change back to normal. So I had my alarm set for 2 o'clock in the morning, just in case. And when it went off, I checked it. It was still delayed for 12:15. So I was like, okay, whatever. So I went and turned it back on for 6:30 because, then I could get up, get my shower and everything. We'd still be ready to go by 8:30. Well, we got up, got ready, got our things, got picked up, taken to the airport. All that was fine. We got there and got checked in around 10:15, something like that, and we went to our gate. Well, while we were sitting there waiting, we got there at 10:15, I'm sorry. We got there at 10:15, we got checked in and everything, and we got to the gate at probably 11 o'clock, I guess, something like that. Essentially, we had an hour to wait. It's like, okay, whatever. We were just sitting there on our phones, whatever, just waiting. And they said that the flight was delayed again. I kept on checking the app to make sure. Because, you never know. And they weren't always putting a notification out on the intercom. And when they did, they talked so dang fast and it was so muffled you couldn't really tell what they were saying half the time. But yeah, it got delayed from 12:15 to 12:35, then 12:35 to I think 2:05, and it got delayed again. And by the time we got it was close to being, we thought, okay, whatever. They were giving us food vouchers for while we waited because we figured it was going to be a while. They went alphabetical order by last name. Well, mine didn't get called until I got called with the rest, RS, everybody else, and then the end of the alphabet to come up and get your vouchers. Okay, whatever. Bad thing is, before they called that, the pilot and everybody had gone to get on the plane. And my mom had gotten back with her food because her last name was called a lot earlier than mine. Or the letter for her last name. It was the first letter of your last name, essentially. And since we had different last names, yeah. So I ran to the little convenience store that had sandwiches, all sorts of little stuff in there to grab something, and I was in line with a big old line with everybody in front of me. I'm guessing was also to get to the same flight, essentially. My mom called me saying, hey, they just started priority boarding. I'm like, oh, okay, call me when they're about to start everybody else. And I was waiting. Not 2 minutes later, she called me and told me, you better go on ahead and come back. I'm like, oh, and I put down what I had grabbed because I wasn't anywhere near the register. I just went back to the gate. We had to get on the plane not a couple minutes after that. So, yeah, by that point, the only things I had in my system was a C4 that I chugged on the way to the airport, I think. A little bag of Welch's Goodness, which was 60 calories. And a pack, one of those, you get a box of 12 packs of either Oreos, Chips Ahoy, or Nutter Butters. I had a pack of the Oreos. that was 220. I had essentially 300 calories in my system the whole time. And, well, everybody was getting on the plane. I hoped everybody got on the plane that was supposed to be, that was at the convenience store, because I'd hate for you to lose, miss your flight. Anyway, we already got on the plane, we left, the plane took off, all that was fine. I was on my Switch for a bit, then just looking at the window, whatever, And when we landed in Florida, we didn't even get all the way pulled up to the gate, where they hook the plane up to the building and, you get off the plane. Lightning was striking. And I don't know if this is for all airports or just certain ones, but the one we were at, if lightning struck in a certain area near the airport, they would not let you leave the plane. It's like, okay, whatever. And we were hoping that it was just maybe a couple lightning strikes and that'd be it. We were on that plane for 2 hours and 40 minutes. We had gotten there about 5:45. It was already past 8 o'clock by the time we finally got off that plane. And everybody was trying to hurry because we were afraid that the plane, they were going to tell us, no, there was more lightning, we can't get out the plane now. Everybody cheered when he finally said that we could get off the dang plane, and he pulled the plane up to where we were supposed to go, not even probably 100 feet away. And we were all happy, like, okay. And my mom's called my brother, telling him, hey, we're here, where are you at? And he was telling us we had to take a shuttle. I'm like, there's no shuttle. We just had to go down an escalator, and we were out the door, essentially. Turns out, it was better for us. We were at the wrong he was at the wrong airport, essentially. He thought we were going to Orlando International. We were at Sanford Orlando International, which was 40 minutes away. So we had to wait like 40 minutes for my brother and his fiance to come and get us, which is now his wife. And yeah, it was about almost 10 o'clock by the time we got out of there and in his vehicle. And we stopped after we got close so I could get some food because I had not eaten all day besides what I just told you. My mom had gotten some chicken nachos at some place called Fat Bottom that was in the airport, which is like $17. And that was what she had eaten. And so we had stopped at McDonald's and got me some food, and I was hungry. I was eating it. I ate it as soon as I got home, as soon as we got to the house. And so it was past 11 o'clock by the time we got to the house. And we should have been there, if it had not gotten delayed at all, we would have been there at about 10:30 in the morning. So we would have probably gotten to the house at probably around maybe almost noon at the latest. So yeah, that was our experience getting to Florida. Getting out of Florida wasn't near as bad. It got a little, as soon as they got everybody off the plane that had come into Florida, they had operations there had ceased because the weather, and we were late for maybe an extra 15-20 minutes essentially. And then we got on the plane, and then after that it was completely fine. So yeah, getting home was nowhere near as bad as getting to Florida. So the flight itself was fine. But getting on the plane and getting off the plane and getting to the house was not. Yeah, that was my first experience flying in a plane. Anyway, yeah, I figured I'd let you guys know what had happened because I didn't really clarify it in any of the shorts. I couldn't really record anything because my mom was always with me and she would probably think I'm weird. And I didn't want to think that, so I didn't record really much of anything while we were there. So, yeah. And just so you know, the only things I bought while I was in Florida is Paper Mario, The 1,000-Year Door for the Switch, and a book. Let me see if I can grab it. It's on the bed. I had taken it out of the suitcase and I never put it up. We had stopped at Books A Million the other day, and I was wanting to find some books because I had not gotten anything at Hot Topic because there was nothing that I wanted. I was mad. I was upset because I was thinking, oh, Hot Topic's going to probably have the same stuff that the other one I went to had. And if they did, I was going to get the plushies that I had seen. Nope. There was nothing there that I wanted. So I was mad. So we went to Books A Million, and we got there maybe 20 minutes before they closed. And this is the book that I got. I thought it was a romance book. I figured, I'll enjoy it. I love romance books. So, yeah, that's the only things I ended up buying while we were at Florida. And if you notice, something is different right there. That is a shadow box my brother got me for my birthday. An early birthday present. It is a Stardew Valley shadow box, essentially. I don't know if you can see it because of the stupid camera. But, yeah, it's a shadow box of Stardew Valley. And we had to pack it home. So, yeah, we spent that when my brother was going to give it to me. We spent that night, or part of the night, trying to set up my suitcase so we could take it home instead of him having to ship it or something. So, yeah, both suitcases were stuffed because my mom packed way too much to bring with her. Anyway, I figured I'd let you guys know how it went. Everything else was fine. We went to places. We went to Old Town. We went to, what was the other place? I don't even remember what the name of the other place was, but it was like a little tourist area, nowhere near as big as Old Town. It had a Build-A-Bear there. If any of you guys know what Old Town is, it's a tourist trap that has a ton of different shops, rides. There was a ride there where it was a big old tall one where you got into a thing and it lifted you up to another thing, and then this, like, one of the things that was attached to the ride you were sitting in broke or let go or something, and you just dropped and swung. So, like, you go up there and you go, and I wouldn't be able to do that. I told my mom the only way I would ever do something like that is if someone freaking offered to give me $2,000 for it, because there was no way I was doing that, because I would probably scream, cry, mess myself, throw up, and or pass out on that ride. That would be my reaction. I'd probably pass out as soon as I get out of the ride. Thankfully, I didn't do it. But, yeah. That was my trip to Florida, essentially, in a nutshell. And if you want to know how the marriage went, I actually put the short up. I actually asked my brother and his wife, can I put this up on YouTube? And they said, sure. So, yeah. And just so you know, who was officiating the ceremony in the video was her brother. He had gotten, done all the things to be certified to do it, essentially. And, yeah, that was my trip, essentially. If y'all want to, ask me questions or whatever in the comments on anything specific, feel free to, and I'll see you guys in the next video.